Okay, folks, look. You remember I did the deviled macaroni and eggs? And I'm gonna say this part right here. I don't know why we call it devil. You know what I mean, what it represents, you know what I mean? Let's just call them, these are gonna be called like some type of heaven eggs. But anyway, listen, we finna get right into it. It's not like I gotta go through a whole lot of ingredients, but don't forget the full ingredient list is on my website. That's Smokin and Grillin with AB.com, and that's WITAB.com, right? So now look, I just got myself a slotted spoon. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting my eggs in here. I have my water, it is already boiling. By the time I get these 12 eggs in here, right? Then what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna show you guys. If you guys didn't know how to make boiled eggs, you know what I mean, I'm gonna show you a foolproof way to do them. Okay, so once your water, comes to a boil, this is what we do. We turn our water off, right? You wanna have a lid, you go ahead and put this on the top. Now I'm gonna set myself a timer. It depends on the size of the eggs. You can go anywhere between 10 to 12 minutes. For me, I'm gonna go extreme because these are like a double egg, kind of like extra large, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna go ahead and go with the 12-minute option. All right, so look, after your timer goes off, it's been 12 minutes, you know what I mean? I just remove my top. Now what I'm gonna do is put them in my sink and I'm finna run cold water over this, you know what I mean? So I can go ahead and cool these so I can shock them. All right, so look, I went ahead and peeled them all, right? I put this, paper towel in here just to get any of the residue, the water residue off of that, because I do rinse them. Now we finna get down to the good part, right? So I'm gonna take one of these and just put this here. I'm gonna actually cut it in my hand. Please don't do what I do. You know what I mean? This is just the way I was taught. Now, think about this. If you're gonna cut this, you wanna cut it this way, right? And then we're gonna put our yolk, in a bowl, separate bowl. But the reason we cut it this way, because when we have the half, we want to be able to have the filling in there. That way when we pick them up, they work like this. I do have a cold way to show you guys how to cut it like this. Cut the top and then we restuff them, but that'll be for a later video. Okay, so when I cut it, I should have said this word. This is the verbiage I should have used, and that's lengthwise, right? So we come in like this. It'll make sense to you in just 1 second. So I cut down, you know what I mean? As you can see, perfectly done, yolks, right? So let me bring this over here, and then all you do is just pop it in. Take your thumb, they should drop right out. Then when you're done, you can stage these wherever you want to. I'm gonna just stage them here. Now I'm not gonna bore you guys, we finna go ahead and rock and roll on these. All right, so after we got everything, in these trays right here, we got our whites in here, we put our yolks inside of a bowl. Now we gonna go ahead and just start, to make our filling, right? So this part is right here is gonna be key. This is 8 ounces, we only need a quarter, so we just divide that by 4, and that'll do it right there. So we just need a couple of ounces of room temperature cream cheese. You guys gonna understand why I say room temperature in just 1 second. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is right now, before I add the rest of my ingredients I'm gonna break these yolks up. I probably should have did that before I hit it with the cream cheese, right? But we just wanna break these up in as small as possible, right? So just get you a fork, mash it, you know what I mean? We just keep it old school. Now, once you have it all broke up like this, once you got it as fine as you can, right? Even before I start, mixing up my cream cheese and all of that, what I wanna do is I wanna add myself, just listen to this. I took the time to get you guys these ingredients, these measurements, right? So we wanna put a quarter cup of mayo. You guys use the mayo of your choice. You guys can talk to me down in the comment section below. What's the best mayo out there? Is it Duke's, Hellman, is it Best Food? And even if you know which one of the companies is exact same as Best Foods, let me know down in the comment section below. Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead. Now I just wanna tell you guys, look, I'm using sweet relish, right? Love the Mount Olive brand. Look, I'm gonna put a couple of tablespoons of this in here. I don't wanna drain none of the juice out. Even if it's a little bit on the heaping side, that's fine by me. Now there is another way you guys can make it. This is for the people that say they don't like it, when it has the sweet taste to it and they wanna go deal. Check this out. Now here, listen, if we gonna go the deal version, right? So we would add dill relish to it. They just get you some pickle, cut it down, cut them into the slices that to dice them down to the size that you like, right? And then I usually put maybe 2 tablespoons of dill pickle juice in there also. And then to balance it all out, this right here is nothing but granulated sugars. I probably put like a teaspoon of that in there. All right, now we're gonna put a little Dijon mustard in here, right? So we put a couple teaspoons of this in here. Right. Next, we're gonna add, some smoked paprika. It's not also, like a lot of times we use this, really we use it for what? Like garnish, right? But here we're gonna put a little bit in here and I'm gonna measure it out. And instead of running a smooth, a knife edge off the top, I just want to add just about a half a teaspoon, right? And the smoked paprika has that flavor, folks. All right, so now we're gonna add just a tad bit of heat. Now on my website, it's gonna say a tablespoon, right? But we're not gonna put a tablespoon in here for me. You know what I mean? We just add just a few sprinkles to it. Just enough to add just a little bit of heat, right? Somewhere right around a teaspoon, that'll really do it. But for everybody else, you know what I mean? A tablespoon will work, you know what I mean? But if you want to start off with a teaspoon. And by the way, this Sweet Smoky Joe hot sauce right here, this is fire. All right, so then I use my knife, I use my fork. And what I do is I just go over it again. Now it's nice and wet. You know what I mean? You find a rhythm for yourself, and then we want to get it more like paste-like without all of the lumps. All right, so once you get it and it looks good, you done made sure all your yolk has been, you know, I guess the only word I can think of is like smashed to your best of your ability. You see this right here? I'm gonna scoop this up and I'm gonna turn this upside down. When you have it like that, now I can give it a little bit of a, look at that. And it drop, that's gonna be perfect because we're gonna use a piping bag this time, folks. Now you can, instead if you don't have a piping bag, like I didn't, I ordered mine off of Amazon. I found one that's super easy to use and it's reusable. You know what I mean? I'm finna show you guys that right now. Now you can use these right here, right? Which is a piping bag for all you guys that go out there and do the baking and stuff like that, do the icing. You know what I mean? I got a little tip. This is gonna make it much easier. In the past, all I'm taking was a gallon Ziploc bag, get it all in there. I make a small little cut and then I go ahead and do it. This right here with these little tips make it so much easier and controllable, you know, when you're making them. All right, so what I'm getting ready to do is I'm gonna cover my bowl right now with some saran wrap. I'm gonna let it stay in there just to, you know, for like 1 hour, just to get it nice and chilled. We're gonna get everything set up and then we're gonna go ahead and decorate these. This is what I did to make life easier, you know what I mean? Instead of, like, whether you're using a piping bag or you're using a, you know, a Ziploc bag, right? You have to get yourself like a cup. Just go ahead and put one corner down in there. It should look just like that. You know what I mean? But I got my tip, it's all laying off to the side or whatever, because what we want to do is we want to feel, right? So I think I'm going to start by just taking it here, and we just put it right here, and then we just get it down as far as we can. All right, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to take this out. Once you got it, it'll look like that, right? We take this out. Just notice I fold this up. Reason, because I want to be able to hold it. Now, this is what I was talking about. I just get that down there, and now we're just going to work this down. Right? I don't want to squeeze nothing out as of yet. And I'm just gonna go ahead and just twist this just like you see, and then we good here. Now, I'm gonna set this to the side. Let me set this camera up so I can show you how we're gonna do that. And then we just bring this over here like this, and we just go ahead. Now I keep it down a little bit, and I kind of like move it up and down like this. And then you remember we got that certain type of tip on here, right? So you guys will be able to see it, you know? But when you get your consistency right, like this is what we call golden. All right, so here you go. And again, I'm loving these little, you know, trays like that. For one, they keep them still, and you know, we can just put a lid over the top, and then they stackable, folks. Look, this on top of this. Easy to take with you, you know what I mean? For you guys to do the potlucks and all of that. Now I'm getting ready to take some of my smoked paprika, you know what I mean? And then we hold it up with a little height, and we just sprinkle a little bit on here. This is for like decoration. We're not putting enough on there that you can really, really taste it, right? But we just do them like this. And I do them in here, and I transport them just the same way. Then, you know, I've already cut my chives, you know what I mean? So you can hold them up over the top the same exact way. Okay, so you guys can see them. Man, they smell incredible. What you guys didn't see is I got like a bacon sea salt that I put on here that happens to be a vegan product, you know what I mean? And I can just smell the hint of bacon over all of these. But you see that right there? It's time to eat these, folks. Cheers, y'all. Hey, this right here, this is nice. Great compliment to anything that you're doing this summer. You know what I mean? You take these, you put these out, you know what I mean? Get yourself a couple of trays and make it easy to transport. I'm really not gonna over talk it, but I wanna know from you guys outside of just adding bacon or shrimp. Let's use our brains and let's be creative. Let me know down in the comment section below, what would you do to level this up? Now, with that being said, listen, if you're new to my channel, let me take this time to say, thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, smash that subscribe button, and just tell everybody out there, there is a channel out here that's simplifying these recipes and taking the mystery out of cooking. And you know what I gotta do? You guys just haven't seen it. I gotta make about at least another 48 of them. Guess what? I'm out. Peace.